Hello, Columbia. Welcome to CAT's program called Making a Difference. My name is Jennifer Erickson. I'm the host today, filling in for Marco Tapia. I'm also the executive director of Columbia Access Television. So this is kind of my first foray into this world. So welcome. We have some great guests this month, and we're talking right now with PET of Columbia, Missouri. And we have the co-founder of the whole program, Mel West, is here with us, and he's the current executive director, and then the incoming executive director, Gary Moreau. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, tell us, I know I've read a little bit about your project. I mean, I think that you do a really good job of getting word out, but say that you're talking to a person who's never heard about the PET project, if I'm saying it correctly. What are you all involved in? What do you do?
Well, I remind them first that there are 21 million people in the world crawling on the ground or having to be carried. That's an amazing number of people in the developing world.
21 million.
21 million.
And why are they in this state?
Great host of things: polio, landmines, leprosy, diabetes, war injuries, work injuries. Landmines have been a big one.
Yeah.
And if you put them in a line of crawling people, Jennifer, it'd be a line 28,000 miles long. Can you imagine that? Head to butt, people crawling 28,000 miles. So we're
Wow.
about the business of producing this simple, sturdy machine that gets them up off the ground and enables them to make a living for themselves and their family. That's what we're about.
So independence and mobility,
Yes.
things that they simply don't have
Right.
until they get something that helps them.
And it relieves the caregiver of so many burdens.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And so we have a visual aid here, is that right?
That's right,
Yeah.
Jennifer. This is actually a personal energy transportation. That's the acronym for PET. And you have a child-sized model right here, and we make 3 models. And this one is fits a child. And we'll produce them with volunteer labor here in Columbia, Missouri. And there's also 22 other building sites in the United States. And then we produce them, and they're with gifts and donations of folks from all walks of life. And that's what's really unique about all the people that are volunteer, that come in, that spend their time. That's the reason I got involved. I'm retired, but I also want to do something that helps other folks and spend some quality time. And so it gives me a chance each week to come in and work and get involved. So I started cutting chain.
The chain
that
that's
chain
on
guard
the,
there,
yeah.
comes a 100-foot spool. So my
Right.
simple job was to take that and to turn it into 6-foot links, and that would be appropriate. And so some folks come in just to work on the wood, to work on the steel, but we take a combination of all those and put together a product that's shipped all over the world.
Wow, so it's a hands-on type scenario, and I'm sure you have to train people in how to do this correctly.
Yes, it's rather simple technology.
Yeah.
An important thing is that many of these parts are made by volunteers out across the country and given to us, delivered to us by them at no cost at all. For example, this little white handle there is made by the members of the United Methodist Church in Medford, Oklahoma.
Okay.
They've been doing that for 12 years and have provided us with about 4,000 of those a year.
Wow.
And they would brag that they had 28 people on Sunday. So it's a small congregation. And Gary and I could go on down. This bed is made by a men's group in O'Fallon, Missouri. They deliver us all those that we need. No cost to us, and they deliver them.
So this is a much more than a group effort. It's kind of a statewide effort or a nationwide effort.
Nationwide effort.
So
yeah.
I want to go back. You said 22 locations across the country. Is that right?
That's right.
Also produce these full.
Yes, they do.
And so, did it start here in Columbia?
It started in my garage. Bill Gates and I have a lot in common.
No, that's great. And so it started here in Columbia.
Yes.
And over how many years did it take for this effort to grow from your garage, to a nationwide effort?
Well, it started in 1994. A missionary from Zaire asked me to create this and build it. I got with a friend of mine who's a designer, product designer. Took us about a year, nearly 2 years, to come up with the prototypes that we wanted. And we really started seriously making them in considerable numbers in the year 2000.
Okay, so yeah, we're in the 12th year of
Yes.
those efforts. That's great. And how many have you produced and delivered across the world?
With
since
all
then?
of us together, all the 22 other sites, about 45,000.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So that's cutting into that number that you said
Yeah, we
earlier.
only have 21 million miles to go.
Well,
so
I know, but I'm sure every step counts. So
it's unbelievable almost.
yeah, interesting. So how can we should be proud of this as a community that this is happening and taking place across the nation. How do people get involved locally?
Well, here locally, we have need for volunteers. Of course, we've always have a turnover. People age, move on, but we always like to keep that on hand. It costs typically about $250 to produce one of these.
One of these
That's what
is
we've
about
been asking
$250.
for from the beginning. Now,
Okay.
$250. So, generous donations from people from all over the area. It costs money to ship them to around the world. And we also need contacts around the world for folks that know of non-governmental organizations that are located in foreign countries, outside worlds, and where they see the need. And they can create the need and then express that back to us in some way that we can actually create a shipment then.
So if I have a family friend, or I know through my work somebody who runs an NGO in a country where there is need, and it sounds like almost every country around the world would have a need for this.
Yes.
But then they should call you and get in contact with you and let you know that there's a possibility for.
That's a lot how it gets done. We have an umbrella organization called PET International that kind of oversees all the making of the standardization of the parts, but also the shipping as well. So between those, we would formulate a shipment to that country, and maybe include some other things like sewing machines and some other things in there as well. But mainly it's full of pits, the 3 sizes, which is a pull pit, which we haven't talked about, but there's an adult version of this child size, and then there's also the pull pit, which can be towed. Somebody that has not got totally paralyzed or for some reason can't see where they're going. So.
Right. And how do they reach you? We just have a few more seconds, so let's talk about how people can really get to you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've got PET is here in Columbia. We're at 886-7877. And kind of remember the giftofmobility.org. That's a good website.
Giftofmobility.org. Oh, that's
Yeah,
easy to remember because that's exactly what you're
That's
doing.
what we're doing, the gift of mobility, and that
Okay.
helps folks get on.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks, Columbia.
Thank you.
Hello, Columbia. Welcome to the October edition of Making a Difference. My name is Jennifer Erickson. I'm the director at CAT TV, and I'm filling in for our host, Marco Tapia, who's normally here. I'm kind of excited about this. It's my first time doing this. So I'm here with Christine Corcoran, and she's here to talk with us about putting kids first. And I'm interested in hearing all about this. I only heard about it briefly, so I would love to know, as would most of Columbia, about what this is all about.
I'm really excited to be here. So Putting Kids First is an effort put on by about 20 agencies that serve children and families in Boone County to essentially propose a 1 penny for every $4 sales tax in Boone County to go into a fund to serve children and families. And some of the services that would be offered are early intervention, prevention services, drug and alcohol prevention, suicide prevention, transitional living, foster care, out of foster care. A lot of people don't know that in Boone County, we had, of 6th through 12th graders, 1 in 10 kids has considered suicide. Over 3,000 kids have gone without services.
Per year?
Per year.
Wow.
The mental health, drug and alcohol, and prescription drug abuse rate among 6th through 12th graders is higher in Boone County than it is the state average. So we have some real gaps in services here, and this is an opportunity for the local community to support our kids and families at home. The only criteria to access services are that kids be residents of Boone County, 19 years of age or younger, and their family members.
Okay, so how much money do they expect that to raise over
Well,
the year? I guess
yes.
it's just projections.
Yes, approximately $5.4 million will
my
go
goodness.
into a fund that an independent board of Boone County residents, so a 9-member board that is statutorily defined, will disseminate the funding. And the funding can only be used for services. So it can't be to build buildings or to increase someone's salary or anything like that. The money has to go directly, it's a direct reimbursement for serving a kid or a family.
So treatment,
Yes.
prevention, and those are really important topics. Wow, okay, so how do people get involved and how do they help with this whole?
We would love for
effort?
people, the first thing is to go to the bottom of the ballot to vote yes.
So this is on
for Putting Kids First in
the November, okay.
But we also need a lot of help, and you can go to our website at boonecountykids.org. We need help with canvassing on Sundays. We need help at the polls on Election Day, and we need help the weekend before on Saturday and Sunday. So we would love help with canvassing or doing office things, or if you're open to putting a yard sign up or talking about this to a group. There are lots of ways, and you can go to our website, and there's a direct email on that website that goes directly to me.
Great, so people can help get the word out and just inform people
Yes.
that they need to vote yes on Proposition 1. That is what your group,
Yes.
like, yes, okay.
Yes.
Great, and the list of organizations that are involved is really impressive. Rainbow House, True North, Public Schools in Ashland, Columbia Public Schools, the Downtown Optimist Club. That's a really great coalition. Have they all been helping as well with this effort?
Yes, we have been meeting every Monday morning, if anyone wants to stop by, at 8 a.m. at my office. We have a group of about 25 people. We've been meeting for about 2.5 years to put together this plan and to work towards it. It's taken a lot of manpower. We had to collect signatures. We had to collect 6,703 signatures to get on the ballot, and we collected 8,233. So it has been a true labor of love among a lot of those agencies, staff, and directors, and we've had to work really hard to get where we are.
Right, but you know, it sounds like you have a lot of people involved, which is great. You work at Lutheran Family and Children's Services specifically, so this is probably after November, you'll go back to that job?
Well, I sort of do both jobs. Okay. I do work at Lutheran Family, and I have a great staff that have really kind of been filling in the gaps while I've been so busy Putting Kids First. But our organization, as do all of the organizations listed on our website, feel this is a really important for our community and for the kids and families in our community, and are willing to make that investment and sacrifice, really.
Can you give a couple of examples of the types of treatments and things that this money would go to support? You said that it doesn't go to increasing salaries or buildings and things like that, but can you give maybe a couple so people can kind of think about people they may know, especially if 1 in 10 kids is considering suicide?
It can go, one of the coolest things they've done in other counties that have passed this, so St. Charles County, St. Louis County, and 5 other counties, they have done, been able to put prevention specialists into schools, which is where kids are, and done a lot of good quality evidence-based programming with drug and alcohol prevention and early identification of need of services. If you hear Dr. Belcher talk, he'll say that's the number one thing that teachers are struggling with are behavioral issues with kids in classrooms. And, you know, all the kids in the classroom are affected by that. So it would put prevention specialists in schools. It would also put clinicians in schools, and also transitional living. So many people are familiar with Soul House, which is a transitional living place for teenagers who have nowhere to go to acquire the self-sufficiency skills that they need. And this would increase. They had to turn 62 kids away last year, and this will increase their ability to serve more kids as they transition successfully to adulthood.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good example of how we can see the problem.
Absolutely.
62 children that needed assistance were turned away just because there wasn't room.
That's right.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting. And so again, how do people help with this effort?
They can call our office at 573-815-9955, or they can visit our website at boonecountykids.org. We would also love, we have a Facebook page, and you can like us on Facebook too.
Great. Well, thank you so much. The election's coming up in November, and so we can all take part in this. And thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Columbia. Welcome back. My name is Jennifer Erickson. I'm filling in for our host, Marco Tapia, for Making a Difference here on Columbia Access Television. Our third guest is the National Federation of the Blind of Missouri, and we have two women here today to talk with us about an upcoming event and some of the good work that they do here in town and probably in the region. We have Daisha Luck, directly to my left, and Debbie Wonder.
Hi.
And so Daisha is the recording secretary of the Columbia chapter. Yes. And please talk a little bit about what you do. And Debbie Wonder is the former president and member of the Columbia chapter. So yeah, if you want to start with what you do for the organization.
A little bit of what I do. I'm the recording secretary for the chapter and the corresponding secretary for the state affiliate. So for the chapter, I take minutes, I send out reminders or write up other emails or things that the president or other members need me to do. And as the corresponding secretary for the state, I send out flyers or letters or cards for like sympathy or birthdays or whatever I'm asked to do. Or correspondence. For instance, we have hosted an event this summer for kids and their parents, and I would probably mail out like the thank you letters or for people who donated or information to tell about events.
Well, yes, and you contacted me about this upcoming event, so that was probably part of what you were up to. And Debbie, what do you do with the chapter?
Well, with our particular chapter right now, I'm just a member, but I work in many areas. I chair our Special Projects and Outreach Committee for the state of Missouri. And the purpose of our organization, we actually have many areas that we work in, but we work very hard on changing attitudes about blindness and helping to educate people of the abilities of blind people. We have many programs such as a scholarship program for blind students wishing to go on to higher education. We have many programs that we work with children. We've had a space camp, and we took children to Camp Windermere over the summer. So, and one of our initiatives, of course, is to promote the use of Braille. In our country today, we have more than 70% of our population of blind people who are either unemployed or underemployed. And in
70%?
part, yes,
wow.
70%.
Okay.
And so we are working very hard to reach out to the public and the business world, teaching them the abilities of blind people. We work in the area of technology, and we also believe that with this digital age that we're in, many people are thinking how wonderful that is, and so Braille is being left behind. And one of our main goals is to promote the use of Braille. If you can imagine that if your children didn't have pencils to write with and books to read, that would be the same for a blind child who could not read Braille.
Blind children, oftentimes, if they have some vision, the school districts will say, oh, they don't need to learn Braille. And as something I read this morning, one of our emails went out that said, it's like saying your sighted child doesn't need to learn print.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make sense. As Debbie said, we do a scholarship program, and one of the great things about that is it's great for high school students, but also non-traditional students. A number of our students who win the scholarship are non-traditional students. A couple of years ago, a mom who has 6 kids and a husband and is an all-around amazing lady won the scholarship, and she would be classified as a non-traditional student, but she's amazing. And so it's, you know, people think scholarships, they think 18, 19-year-old freshmen. These are for blind students of all ages wanting to go on to higher education to better themselves.
Well, what a great opportunity for her to do that. And what are other ways that you've described kind of your mission and what drives you. How do you try to get the community kind of better informed about the fact that, well, I didn't know that of the blind community, 70% are underemployed or unemployed. That's a high number.
We have a trivia night coming up on November 3rd, held at the Knights of Columbus, as a fundraiser to help us with different, various projects that we work on. Daisha, do you want to fill them in?
So November 3rd at the Knights of Columbus, okay.
Which is on Stadium Boulevard. It's 2525 North Stadium, to be exact.
Okay.
I've seen that address a lot lately.
2525, that's easy.
Yeah. And the doors will open at 5:30. The event starts at 6:30. And
if you register before October 21st, it's $15 a person. We have table of 8. You do not have to have 7 more friends. We'll help you to meet new friends. If you need more information, you can call 268-6989. After October 21st, it will be $20 a person, and that will get you your game to play, plus free soda and popcorn and lots of new friends.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I've been to a few of those, and those, that's a really fun way to do a fundraiser.
Yes.
Do you have any special guests or anything coming that you know of? Or
at this point, no. I know several of the potential DJs in town are hoping to maybe come if they can and get a table together. I know I've sent out the information to the firefighters and the police department, and have kind of said, when I sent it to the police, I think your buddies at the fire department are going to come. Don't you want to have a little competition?
Well, you're speaking to Columbia now, so if some of these groups would like to contact, and they call 268-6989,
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And this is the National Federation of the Blind of Missouri. It's a trivia night at the Knights of Columbus not Columbia, on November 3rd. So
Yes.
yeah, that would be fun.
And they're able to bring their own food if they wish. There will be some food there for purchase, but you're more than welcome to bring your own.
Great.
And there's a lot of wonderful prizes that they can try and win, including numerous gift cards to restaurants.
Oh, great.
Some jewelry gift certificates. So guys, if you're looking for a great Christmas gift, it's in November. That couldn't come any sooner.
Wow, that's right. The countdown has started, hasn't it?
Kind of scary. And we also have some tickets to the Missouri Theater as well.
Great. So that'll be a fun night. And where will that money go? The money that you raise at the trivia night?
100% of the money stays right with our organization to help us fund our various projects.
Like scholarships?
Scholarships. We host many seminars for people who are dealing with vision loss, either for seniors or parents of blind children.
Great. And would they call that same number if you have a child with vision loss, or if you have know people that need the services?
Yes,
would they also
yes.
call that number?
Yes, they sure can.
268-6989.
Yes, and we could link them to any agency that could also help them.
Great.
So.
Well, ladies, thank you so much. I wish you the best on the trivia night. I may show up myself. I'd love
Great.
those nights.
We'd love to see you. It'd be
yes,
wonderful.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, and thank you, Columbia.
Thank you.